Okay. What was that, Vikings? What the heck was that? Jets. Oh my god. Week 11. NFL Sunday recap. Run it.
From the 16-yard line, Marcus Jones. Got a block from Schooler. Here he goes. He's going to try to beat the putter. He does. He's gone. And that is a touchdown. Are you kidding me, Kevin? The way this game has gone, and that's how this thing's going to finish.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the NFL Legacy Squad. Hope you guys enjoyed. We got the Week 11 NFL Sunday recap. Hope you guys enjoyed your games on Sunday. Obviously, there were some crazy ones, some stinkers, Cowboys, Vikings. But that's all I got here. Let's get right into the videos. Or recaps, actually.
A lot of Bills fans in the house, but also the Browns fans made the short drive from Cleveland. 3rd and 11, Brissett under pressure, steps up, he's going to keep it, has some room up the middle, across midfield, he's got the first down. One. A pass here, Brissett looking deep to the end zone, he has a man down there and it's caught! Cooper! Davis could not bring it in, here's Tyler Bass for a 42-yard field goal, out of the hold of Bojorquez. And Cade York, the rookie, Brissett dropped the football. And Bass is good. Brissett looking for Cooper again. Along the sideline, he was out of bounds. Allen fires to the end zone. Wide open touchdown. This would be a season long from 56 yards away. And the kick is good. Singletary, and he's going to walk it in for a touchdown. Point game. McKenzie, can he turn the corner? No! Brissett comes back to a wide open Njoku. First down and more. Jumping over a defender! That kick is no good. Carries 51 yards for Cook. Looking for more. He's going to get more. Cook into Cleveland territory and taken down. 56 that had enough distance for 66. And this one's good again. And 3 more for Buffalo.
Down back, Philly 17, Indy 16, back to the game.
And a deep pass down the field for Peoples-Jones. Brissett to the end zone for Cooper. And he's got it for his second touchdown of the day. Conversion and field goal. This is an interesting decision here by Stefanski. And Brissett to the corner, juggled and held on to. But the hat is 2 years ago, and Steve Christie also had 6 back in 1996. And there it is. Goal with 25 seconds to go. Brissett has time. Fires, and it is caught for a touchdown.
Now, the first one we're crashing into is the one in Detroit. Where the Bills, yeah, they're home, and this one obviously because of the weather at Highmark Stadium. They couldn't go on the Browns, and they beat them 31-23. It was really on a 31-16 game. They were in control of this for most of it. Obviously, they won. They're now 7-3. It's now a 2-game losing streak. Browns have lost back-to-back games. They've had a really frustrating year, but they do have the Bucs next week. See if they can bounce back in that one. Jacoby Brissett was really good, 28-41, 324, 3 touchdowns. I think he scrambled a little too much, wasn't in the pocket enough, but considering they ran the ball so bad, I mean, they were pretty good otherwise. Amari Cooper had a great day for 113, 2 touchdowns. Donovan Peoples-Jones, 5 for 61 touchdown. He had an amazing catch on the sideline. Nick Chubb was productive receiving game. He had his worst game of his career on the ground. 19 yards, though, is better than some other guys. There's no Saquon, but yeah. Yeah, if you didn't know Saquon, I think it was... Sorry, I'm getting off topic a little, but... He had, like, how many carries? It was, like, 1 yard. Yeah, he had 13 carries for 1 yard. That is awful. That's just so bad. John Johnson was awful, but he had 8 tackles. Good for him. I mean, he really struggled in coverage. He was not great. JOK, I don't think he was great either. I mean, their coverage was pretty pitiful, to be honest with you. But I'll be honest with you, I don't think their run defense was that bad. John Johnson was actually really good at cleaning up there. But they were so bad in coverage, too. It was not good whatsoever. Miles Garrett had a sack. They actually got a lot of pressure. Taylor Bryan had a sack. So the fact they combined with the pressure and the fact they actually, again, they were not good in coverage, but they were pretty good in terms of fitting the run. I mean, I actually think they were pretty good. Even though it's because the defensive line was kind of the opposite. They just weren't insane because their front seven. Well, it was mostly their defensive line in the run game was awful, but when it came to pass rush, they were getting to the quarterback because again they're quicker than the Bills' offensive line, but the Bills' offensive line was just straight up more physical than them, and it put a lot of burden on the linebackers, which really struggled there. But obviously their secondary was really bad in terms of pass coverage. But Cade York was 1 of 2 field goals for Shank, that one of them. Bills, I mean, yeah, Josh Allen wasn't bad, but it was okay. I mean, 197 and touchdown. They ran the ball very, very well, but again, it was because of the penetration in the offensive line. Dawson Knox at 7 for 70. Couple games like that, great. Gabe Davis wasn't perfect, but 5 for 68. Stephon Diggs had a touchdown. Pretty quiet otherwise, though. Defensively, Tyrell Dotson, yeah, he had 9 tackles, but Matt Milano had the best game of the year. One of the best games of his career. He definitely deserves to be Defensive Player of the Week for sure. He was phenomenal. Had a sack, 8 tackles. Was absolutely just so good. Other than that, though, I mean, other guys can make some plays. Caleb Bass had 6 field goals. Yeah, I hear that. 6. I probably should have kept him on my fantasy team now that I think about it. Total yards, I mean, it was pretty even. Obviously, the Bills just ran the ball so much better. But yeah, they didn't have the ball as much. I think they just controlled this game, really. Obviously, got a little tight at the end. But that's all I got there. Let's get right to the keys of the game grades for both these teams. And for this Browns offense, since it's indoors, you can actually throw the ball, which they did. But the offensive line has to clear holes consistently to be got. They couldn't run the ball at all. 5 was big plays, 20-plus yards. They actually got that. Offensively, I'll actually give them a plus. Because the Bills' defense, yeah, I get they've kind of stunk the past 2 weeks. But their secondary, their safeties are almost as bad, are honestly worse than the Rams safeties right now. But Kyrie Elam's struggling. I mean, they really took advantage of that, and they've had so many big plays. Jacoby Brissett had one of his best games of his career. I mean, they played really well offensively. Obviously, they didn't run the ball well, which is the reason they lost. But other than that, I mean, they had a really good passing game. Browns defense created a spark early by either forcing a turnover or a sack. They got a sack, and they were getting pressure, but again, they weren't in sync. Then your years back, as Josh Allen tries to throw the ball 70 yards past the safeties, he was really patient. I got to give them a minus. I'm not going to give them anything more, though, because, again, in the run game, their defense, their linebackers and their secondary were really good at containing it. But again, the fact that they couldn't get any penetration was really bad. And as well as that, I wouldn't say they were fitting the run well either, especially up front. But again, complete opposite in the other side of the ball. That's the reason they lost, in my opinion. But obviously, I have to give them a minus because, I'm not giving them 3 minuses because again, they were good. It was just like a mismatch, really. Let's get to the Bills. And for Buffalo, 30-plus rushes, they did that. No stupid crossing concepts on 3rd down. They stayed away from that. Josh just tucked it in the red zone. I'm kind of surprised he didn't there. That's why they only had to kick 6 field goals. Obviously, he's a little, he's not healthy or 100%. That's why I think they got there. I'll give them a plus. I think, I'll give them 3 pluses because they ran the ball well. I don't think they were great overall, but they moved the football really, really well. And again, they had a good game. Bills defense under 30 minutes possession time, under 30% on 3rd and 3+ sacks. They didn't do any of those things. I'll give them a plus, though, because, again, they were really good against the run. And when you can shut down Nick Chubb, it really helps. But, again, those safeties, if they keep playing like that, they're going to get their butts kicked, especially against a team. Wait, what the heck are they playing next week? Oh, yeah. Playing the Lions. They got to be much better because Jared Goff, again, will take advantage of that. Let's get to the Jets and Patriots now. This game was just god-awful, as you'll see in the highlights. Let's just run them.
Say, no, this would not be the case going to the
Right. All 4 teams would be in the playoffs if it started today, and that's not going to happen. These teams are going to end up playing each other. Remember, the Jets have already beaten Miami and Buffalo. They all.
Jones to the air, pressure up the middle, and across the middle, and it's dropped by Tyquan Thornton and loose on the play, and retrieved by Gardner, who races down to the 5. 4th down defense, pretty staunch there for the Jets, and so they decide to go for 3, and he gets it on a goal try by Greg Zuerlein to tie it. Again aimed left and got it. 44-yard field goal, and the win will push. No good. 2nd down, 5, and here they go. Damian Harris cuts outside. It's a foot race with Reed, and hit from 44 earlier in the game and missed it. Let's see what he does here. He misses again. 4th and 3. It's Stevenson with the Harris block. Digging and there with the tackle. Second down and 10. Oh, it was almost picked off on the side and incomplete. From the 16-yard line, Marcus Jones. Got a block from Schooler. Here he goes. He's going to try to beat the punter. He does. He's gone. And that is a touchdown.
It's only lets up 3 points. I mean, do you feel like you let the defense down at all?
No.
Thank you.
Talk about the second half, especially the offense. 7 possessions, only 2 total yards.
No, it's dog shit.
In the best football game of the year, yeah, the Patriots. Oh my God, they won 10-3. It's a typical Patriots win. I mean, the both teams were equally god awful offensively. Zach Wilson he's trash if you want to call him it. I watched his film. Maybe not as bad as people would think, but I mean, a lot of his throws were either his footwork is god awful. Like, don't even talk there. But he doesn't have arm talent. Yeah, he is accurate when he can set his feet. But again, his footwork is so atrocious. But yeah, 9-22, 77 yards. They had negative 21 passing yards in the second half. They were god-awful offensively. I mean, that's probably the worst. Even though they didn't have a pick six or anything, that was worse than I think any offensive performance I've seen this year, at least in the second half. They didn't run the ball for anything. I mean, James Robinson, 7 carries for 10 yards. I don't know what the heck they were trying to do there. Denzel Mims, 2 for 35. They should have got him the ball every single play. He was the only really guy getting open. Garrett Wilson struggled mightily. He just got absolutely abused. C.J. Mosley, 7 tackles. I think he played really well. Jordan Whitehead, DJ Reed made some tackles. Obviously, Sauce Gardner was losing his mind because, I mean, bro, that dude was he was everywhere. They had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sacks. I mean, the defense was phenomenal. But when your offense is led by Zach Wilson, that's what happens. Mac Jones, don't get fooled by the numbers. Yeah, 23 or 27. He was actually pretty good, I'll be honest. He played pretty well. They couldn't run the ball for crap with Ramondre Stevenson, though. And when he dropped back, a lot more incompletions if you were me. Because, again, they actually brought pressure. He got there. Mac Jones, yeah, these are good numbers, but he could have got the ball out even more on film. But that Ramondre Stevenson was definitely productive receiving. I mean, they had guys getting open, I'll tell you that, though. I actually think the Jets secondary wasn't great, but again, they're up front, they were menacing. Defensively now, Kyle Duggar was good. I mean, Matt Judon was a stud, 1.5 sacks. G.G. Wise also had a sack. Mac Wilson chipped in with half a sack. I mean, defensively, they were I wouldn't say they're really good, but they got the job done. Nick Folk missed 2 field goals. Probably should have been worse. Obviously, I mean, they absolutely dominated them if you're the Patriots in terms of a lot of stuff. But when you consider the Patriots really struggled, I mean, struggled to move the ball once they got into, their side of the field. More like the Jets, because it was like a 25-yard drive. They actually only had, let's see how many punts they had. They had 7 punts. Oh, dang. They actually had a lot more drives than I thought they did. Whatever. Yeah, Mac Jones, don't get fooled by the numbers. That was, kind of their whole offense, other than a couple big runs by Davian Harris. But, yeah, Patriots played a better game, and obviously Dak Wilson sucked. That was really the whole entire game. Yeah, let's get right to the keys of the game grades. And if you want to know what I was thinking about that, about the blocking the back, I mean, he was already in the end zone, so it, really wouldn't have mattered. But if they called it, I don't think it was obviously a missed call, but I don't think in the defense of the referees and kind of the Patriots, the guy wasn't gonna catch him. I mean, unless what was his name? Marcus Jones, sit down. I don't really see a difference. But yeah, for this Jets offense now, run the ball for over 200 yards, not even close. Zach Wilson sucked. I mean, offensively, I'll give them 7 minuses. They were so bad. Defensively, same thing as the whole season. Yeah, I'll actually give them 3 pluses. The reason I'm not giving 7 or 10 or 5 is, because they did hold them downfield, but again, they did miss 2 kicks. I'll actually give them 5 pluses. They were really good. Other than a couple big plays they gave up, I think they were really freaking good. But again, when your offense is the worst I've seen in a long time by a team, that's what happens. Time for the Patriots offense. So the Patriots, I mean, it was kind of on the special teams for that, but I mean, overall, I do think they played pretty decent. Yeah, they only scored 3 points. Whatever. And they really stalled out, but they were able to move the football, which is something. I still got to give them minus, though, because 3 points is still 3 points. Patriots defense, they were really good, but again, they missed so many opportunities. I'll give them a plus anyway. I'll give them 3 pluses, because again, 3 points is 3 points. But, their defense wasn't great. I'll give the offense 3 minuses, but, and now that I think about it, they're going to get 8. Because they were so bad. 8 times worse than the average offense, which is absolutely horrible. But for this Patriots defense, I mean, 3 pluses, but I think they could have been so much better, but they were locked down and covered, so I'll give them that. Time for another awful game. Panthers Ravens.
Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson under the weather on Friday, but you knew he wasn't going to miss Sunday in the National Football League. The Carolina Panthers are in town.
And it's just a foot race with the linebacker at the second level to try and catch Lamar Jackson. Advantage number 8 on offense.
And it's intercepted. Or over 70% this year on 3rd and short, one of 3 teams in the league. This is one of the reasons why, because Lamar Jackson can make plays.
Got plenty of cold stories for you.
Oh, what a catch. Robinson on the run. And Robinson. Good snap. Good hold. Good kick. Field hit as he throws, and it is caught. Terrace Marshall with the grab, and down from 32 from Mineiro for the tie. Makes it look easy for the lead. And a 6-3 to Shi Smith, who makes the catch. Tried to rip it out of his hands as Marcus Peters. The ball was out after he hit the ground. Draw play to Kenyon Drake in a big hole. Drake with a cutback. Drake down the sideline. Kenyon Drake. It's Jackson to the edge. Lamar Jackson into the end zone for a Ravens touchdown.
They're so deadly in this 2-minute situation.
First down and 10. Oh, and it's intercepted. Ravens rush 4 again. Mayfield looking over the end. Oh, intercepted.
Grinder of a matchup. The Ravens knocked off the Panthers 13-3. I mean, this game was worse than the Jets game. I'm not even kidding. This game was awful. Panthers 4-3-8, probably the worst team in the NFC. I mean, Ravens 7-3. Yeah, they won. Game's gonna be like this season. Baker, no, he was actually pretty decent. Yeah, 2 interceptions. Like, he wasn't great on that film, but on film he wasn't missing many throws. I mean, he sucked under pressure, but you give him a clean pocket, he was good. But 2 terrible interceptions. They didn't have a running game. They didn't run enough either. Terrace Marshall was awesome. He was getting open, but again, Baker missed him a couple times, getting the pressure got into him as well. They were so bad. DJ Marshall got like 20 more targets. I wouldn't say he was getting open, but still. Defensively, C.J. Henderson was getting toasted by Demarcus Robinson, but 10 tackles, good for him. Jeremy Chin was awesome. I mean, awesome in run defense. Didn't really do much other than that, though. But yeah, had a good game. Frankie Lavu should probably be a Pro Bowler. Definitely the best player on this defense. He had a sack, though. Brian Burns is a great thing. Brian Burns had a sack. Jericho Swanson had a sack. Being a little more consistent. Raven had a crazy interception. But defensively, they were pretty decent. I mean, 13 points is just, again, 13 points. Ravens. Lamar, quiet day. 24 of 33, 209. Bad interception to start the game. But, I mean, on the ground, he had a touchdown, but really got contained. I think Kenyon Drake should have got like 15 more carries. Justice Hill was awful. Yeah, he had like one wide open hole he burst through, but other than that, he didn't do much. Kenyon Drake forced 1 long run, but I think he was good otherwise. Lamar, again, just not great. Demarcus Robinson gave him 9 for 128, big game. Mark Andrews was productive, 6 for 63. No one else did a lot. Defensively, Patrick Queen was menacing. Roquan Smith had a sack. Yeah, they only had, 3 sacks. It felt like they had pressure on the whole game, though, just watching the offensive line get pushed back. Marlon Humphrey and JBP both had interceptions, though, towards the end of the game. But, yeah, overall, they were really good. The statistics, I mean, yeah, the Ravens dominated. Maybe not passing yards, but they dominated. Had the ball a lot longer. Yeah, this was kind of a game there. And, yeah, 3 bad turnovers. So, Baker, I'm being honest with him, I'll give him a C- for his grade. Yeah, 2 awful interceptions, but you got to watch this film. Like, if you watch him on film, he actually wasn't super bad considering the pressure he was under, and he's obviously not a good quarterback under pressure. Keep low expectations for Baker Mayfield now. He's not that great. And for this Panthers offense, yeah, the run game has to be more prevalent early enough, and they actually tried to, just didn't work. No Baker Mayfield missing completely open receivers. He hit those. He tried to hit those guys in dominant possession. They didn't have many dominant possessions. For that reason, they stunk it up. I'll give them 5 minuses. The reason I'm not giving 7, 8, 9, or 10, or whatever it is because really they're not supposed to score that many points against the Ravens defense. For this Panthers defense, though, 200 rushing yards around, cover the running backs out of the backfield. That was a little bit of an issue. They got burned a couple times up front, jumping, especially the linebackers. But defensively, I will actually give them 3 pluses. 13 points is 13 points. Ravens time. Okay, as ugly as their offense was, I'll give them an underscore because, again, I actually don't think they were the worst. Again, they weren't great. It was a tough game, but, I mean, the Panthers defense played really well. Ravens defense crushed Dante Foreman, and again, after Baker and so you can make up some servers, they did exactly that. Defensively, I won't give them 5 pluses because, again, they weren't so great where I'm like, Jesus, but they were good. They were good. 3 pluses for them. Let's get to the next game. This game was not that entertaining. It was really probably the most boring game of the week. Other than, obviously, if you like offense, then maybe not. It was not. It was the last 2 games we reviewed, but this game was, recap, let's go highlights.
The Houston Texans hit the field in search of their first home victory of this season. Top portion of your screen. And in that direction, it's intercepted. He was throwing for Cooks, but Kendall Fuller has a takeaway, and that's a Commanders touchdown. Quick snap, handoff. Curtis Samuel. Here comes a flag. And an awkward looking kick that goes through. Field goal of 29 yards. And nails that with ease for Cooks. Off his hands and caught but out of bounds.
He's really getting a lot out of those guys.
Mills, he's going to run for the end zone and get in. You can clearly hear the whistle. It was over. And then it's kind of a wrestling move, I'd say.
Yeah, almost like that full suplex.
And in this one, the Commanders defeat the Texans 23-10. I mean, the Texans are awful. They're 1-1. Commanders, pretty comfortable win. Taylor Heineke wasn't anything special. 15 of 27, 191. They ran the ball pretty well. I mean, particularly with Brian Robinson. Yeah, not very good yards per carry, but he was hitting the holes, and he did look pretty explosive. Yeah, I know, not good yards per carry, but I think he looked decent. Curtis Samuel also had a rushing touchdown. Logan Thomas 5 for 65. Terry McLaurin 4 for 55. Nothing really special on offense. Defensively, though, Bobby McCain had 5 tackles. Kendall Fuller is finally playing well. Thank God. He had a pick 6 on like the first play of the game. Montez Sweat, Jonathan Allen both had 2 sacks. Dermot Payne also had a sack. They were getting pressure left and right. Kicking wise, I mean, Joey still had 3 field goals. He's been phenomenal this year. Davis Mills, say what you want about his statistics, but he was standing in the pocket and trying to hit guys downfield. He was being a lot more careful with the football, even though he threw 2 pretty bad interceptions. Other than that, he adjusted as he got deeper in the game. They didn't run the ball for crap either. I mean, Brandon Cooks had 1 bomb of a catch. That was really it, though. No one did anything again. Nico Collins, pretty productive game for him. Chris Moore, too many screen passes he's catching. Other guys need to get those. Desmond McCain, 6 tackles, wasn't great in the slot. I think Kirsten Kirksey played well, though. Jonathan Owens, yeah, he had 4 tackles. I mean, 6 assists. I don't really watch much of him. They didn't get much pressure, though. I mean, some pressure, but, like, when a couple throws, I'm like, you got to get penetration on them there. You don't, not great. Statistics, obviously, the Commanders had a lot more yards. It was really a boring game overall. Obviously, they had, like, 5 more minutes of possession, like, if you're going to go to, like, halfway mark, but obviously they were a lot better. Pick 6 was kind of the difference in this one. It was kind of over after that play. Let's get right to the keys of the game grades. Commanders offense, run the ball 30-plus times. Guess so. Play action out of areas for motions. Yeah, 250 was passing yards for Taylor Heineke. I don't think he didn't get that. Offensive, I'll give them a plus. I mean, they were decent. You know, actually going underscore. They weren't great. They were okay. I mean, there's really nothing to say there. Commanders defense 120 points allowed. You have forced Davis Mills to step up, left out to the pocket. Yep. It beat Damian Pierce to the sideline. Yep. They were just so much better. I'll give them 5 pluses. I mean, they were phenomenal. That was like a great performance. Maybe not as good as the one against the Eagles, but it was really good. Time for the Texans. Okay, for this woeful Texans team, 10 points in the first half, not even close. They couldn't run the ball, 5 big plays. They actually might have got that, and absolutely no turnovers in red zone. I don't think they got that. I don't think they turned it over, but yeah. Offensively, I mean, 3 minuses. Like, you can't win a game, like, especially when you're the Texans, like, with no talent. Like, with a pick 6 in the first play of the game. Texans defense, I actually think they played pretty well. I mean, they contained their guys. I'll actually give them a plus. But again, like, they were on the field a while. They did not get off the field on 3rd down. Karahanish was not great. He was a little bit of a disappointment. But McLaurin was contained, which is good. Time for the Bears and Falcons. This game was probably the only entertaining game we've gone through so far.
Welcome to Atlanta. Living, breathing hope for the Bears right there. Justin Fields has been spectacular.
Mariota drifting. Mariota with a flag down. Throws for a touchdown to Drake London. 27 times this year. He'll throw to the end zone. He's got a wide open man and a touchdown. Down in 6. 4 to choose from to the near side of the field. Fields given all day. Wants it all with Mooney, but he overshot him. Number 1 in the NFL, 16 yards per punt return, and he's got another good one, crossing the 40. Ball came up. Swings out. Fields over the middle. Cole Kmet, right-hand block. Remains
perfect this year. Down run, cuts it against the grain, and Patterson stays on his feet for a first down. Ball comes out, and the Bears have it. But to some wins, he's got the ball with blockers ahead, and he's got a touchdown. Time he touched it. Cordero Patterson has a seam. Patterson splits it. Goodbye. Cordero Patterson, the 9th time in his NFL career. He's not missed this year. Has he met his match? Or does he stay perfect? Off the crossbar, no good. And at halftime, this game is tied. Mariota's got it with room. Marcus Mariota's in. Drop, deep routes, lets him develop. Good coverage, though. Down the sideline goes Montgomery, and Fields spectacularly drops it in. Look to throw. He's given time. Fields scrambles, keeps it alive. Magic from Fields. Justin Fields finds St. Brown. First down. Montgomery found room and found the end zone. Patient running. Patterson, first down Atlanta. From 53 for the lead. Youngway Koo has done it again in the... Given time. Too tall and Jalen Hawkins makes the interception.
And yep, the Falcons have somehow won 5 games, same thing as last year, but the 27-24 win over the Bears. Bears have lost, 4 in a row? Yeah. Bears have had a rough year. Obviously, they got a lot of close games. Justin Fields, he's not going to throw for a lot of yards. He had a bad interception on the last drive of the game, but, I think he was pretty good. Obviously, ran the ball well, 18 for 85 and a touchdown. Was contained, though, no huge runs. Dan Montgomery, only 67 yards, but he was definitely looked good. I mean, they did not have a good offensive line did not have one of their best games for sure, but Dan Montgomery, of course, was their leading receiver, as he should be. Darnell Mooney, a fantastic touchdown grab, really tracked the ball well. I mean, maybe not as well as he could have, because, again, he had to, absolutely extend for it, but not good. Chase Claypool, get him the ball more. That's as simple as that there. Justin, you got to get the ball to him more, quick throws. Defensively, Jack Sanborn was all over the field for good and bad reasons. Jaquan Brisker, again, and him and Eddie Jackson, they're literally the linebackers, and no pressure whatsoever. Because again, this defense is not challenged; it's absolutely challenged. Kerry Santos missed his first field goal of the season. Eddie Jackson and Jaquan Brisker are literally this whole defense. Jalen Johnson, he's not a bum, but yeah. Marcus Mariota, 13 of 21, 31 touchdown. That's his normal game. They ran the ball pretty bad, but Marcus Mariota got 15 carries, which is ridiculous, even though he is mobile. Kyle Pitts, 3 for 43, okay. Didn't really do much. Drake London also had a touchdown on his only catch of the game. Rashaan Evans, 8 tackles, okay. Darren Hall, okay. Arnold Ibiki had a sack. They had 4 sacks and an interception by Jalen Hawkins on the last drive of the game for the Bears, at least. They did what they needed to do. I don't think they were great. They weren't terrible, though. They gave some rushing yards, but it was pretty even overall. This was a really even game, being completely honest here. Obviously, the Bears had a lot more of the possession time, though, because, again, they ran the ball better. Maybe not in statistically, but yeah, they actually did statistically too. Falcons had 2 really bad fumbles as well. But I actually don't think that bit them in the foot, because again, they had no sacks. Their offensive line played absolutely very, very, very well. Maybe not in the run game, but they played really well. Time for the keys to the game grades. Okay, for this Rams offense, run the damn. What the heck am I on? My bad. Bears, my bad. We'll get to that next recap. No Travis D's on screens. Down Tristan after a couple carries, okay. Justin Fields rollouts. They actually didn't do much of that. And 5 Darnell Mooney targets. They actually did that. Offensively, I'll actually give them an underscore. They were decent. Yeah, bad turnover at the end of the game, but I do think they did enough to win. Their defense just can't get any pressure and getting on them. Yeah. They did run a lot of soft coverages. They just kind of gave up that long touchdown, which is a special team's fault. Oh, yeah, no. We'll get to that. Well, let's talk about it. Cordero Patterson had his 9th career kickoff return touchdown, which is the most now in NFL history. He's one of the best returners of all time. I wouldn't say he's a Hall of Famer, but who knows? Yeah, for the Bears, though, I actually think that he actually might be a Hall of Famer. Maybe. I don't even know. That's a big debate that I don't want to have right now. But for this Bears defense, okay, they're good, but they're not good. They're not good. What am I saying? I'm thinking of the Falcons. 3 minuses, they just didn't get it done. Falcons time. Okay, for Atlanta, pistol, RPOs, they actually get a good mix with that. And obviously, Jake Matthews played a lot better. But Kyle Pitts was not doing well in run blocking. He just won't be. Offensively, though, I'll give them a plus. They did what they needed to, and they didn't have any. They had a couple bad turnovers, but they put scoring up points. Arnold, they make 85 plus pressures. Yup. I mean, defensively, I think they played pretty well. They could have been better though against Justin Fields for sure. Even more pressure. I know crazy that might sound in some senses, but actually, I'll give them a plus. The Falcons played pretty well. They didn't do a lot, but they won. Let's get to the next game.
Matthew Stafford and the Los Angeles Rams are in New Orleans, getting set to take on Andy Dalton and the Saints.
Generational player.
Dalton back in. Dalton fires, and it's caught.
And these guys, they're all looking like Aaron Donald, right? I talked about Aaron Donald and his cat-like quickness.
Well, goes in motion from the 38-yard line, off the fake to Akers. Stafford going deep. It is caught. Atwell, touchdown. Pick up a first down without reaching the end zone. The throw goes to the end zone. Jawan Johnson.
They like it. They like what they see.
It is Williams, and he will not get there. There's Stafford. End zone. It is caught for a touchdown by from the Rams 7-yard line. Dalton throws. End zone. Touchdown. Jarvis Landry.
Turn down on him.
Third down and 9. Dalton heaves this one downfield. It is caught and taken in by Olave.
For the rest of this half.
And here's Perkins. He will pick up a first down from the left hash. Rams, 8th play for the Saints. Dalton scrambling, in trouble. Down he goes. Saints lead by 10.
Right now, instead of going for the touchdown.
Gay's career long is 58, and this from 58 is good.
Okay, first things first, not the show, just this. Matt Stafford, concussion protocol. He shouldn't play another snap for this season, and I would not be surprised if he retires. I would not be mad for him being retired because 2 concussions in not back-to-back weeks. Basically, back-to-back weeks is not safe for your brain. Matthew Stafford, if you retire after the season, I wouldn't be for it, but I'd fully respect it. I'd have nothing against if he did that because your mind is way more important than football. So much more important. Yeah, Saints won 27-20. I mean, the Rams suck, so yeah. They lost 4 in a row, 6 out of the last 7. Bryce Perkins was a little bit of a spark, but again, he pressure left and right, coming to the game, whatever. They actually did run the ball well, so I'm happy about that. Can't really complain there. Darrell Henderson, don't know what the heck's going on with him. Probably should have got a couple more carries. I mean, if you didn't see, Kyron Williams is not the most physically imposing running back, but man, he's really explosive. Tutu Atwell, a 62-yard bomb though from Matt Stafford. He had 2 touchdowns, 11-18, 159. He was phenomenal when he played though. He was awesome. Allen Robinson had a touchdown. Good, decent game. I mean, not great, but Tyler Higbee, serviceable, but still not great. Now for defense. Okay, they were gassed, but I mean, Taylor Rapp, oh god. I've seen this way too much. I mean, it hasn't really been a problem, and we never really get back to it. But yeah, Leonard Floyd, Greg Gaines, Aaron Donald, the front 7 is doing its job, that's for sure. Yeah, maybe not Justin Collins, but he's stopping the run. He's playing pretty good in pass coverage, so the defense is doing their job, the front 7. But in the secondary, it's Jalen Ramsey and a bunch of hooligans. Yeah, Troy Hill, I don't have a problem with. I mean, David Long, we know he sucks, but Nick Scott, I love him, but I mean, he's missing a couple too many tackles. He hasn't been perfect coverage. But Taylor Rapp, man, he funnel coverage with Jalen Ramsey. He just absolutely blew it. He was playing outside zone. He was supposed to play inside the funnel and out. That should not have been a touchdown there. But now for the red rifle. And after he had a 58 and 56-yard field goal, he played well there. But yeah, Andy Dalton, I mean, he proved why he should start. 4 incompletions, 260 yards, 3 touchdowns. He was rifling the ball left and right. The Rams, again, their secondary was really bad. Running the ball, they were actually really bad. I mean, Taysom Hill, 5.8 yards per carry, but I think it could have been worse. David Johnson was atrocious on his 1 carry. Chris Olave went 5 for 102 and a touchdown. I'm okay with it for fantasy, but other than that, that touchdown was so bad to watch. Jarvis Landry had a pretty productive game from him coming back, 3 for 33, touchdown. Jawan Johnson also had a touchdown. It was kind of he had a touchdown. Defensively, they were pretty good. They got a lot of pressure as expected. They had 4 sacks. They played pretty well. I don't think they did anything special. They really got burned over the top because they're, again, an old secondary, but they were definitely better than the Rams. The Rams actually had more total yards. They ran the ball so much better than the Saints did. They were better up front, in my opinion. both sides of the ball, really. Maybe not, obviously, not offensive line in that sense. But the Rams finally ran the ball. I'm happy about that. I mean, I just hope Matthew Stafford is fully okay. Like, he's obviously not okay, but I hope he recovers really well. And Aaron Donald wouldn't be surprised if he retires either after the season. I wouldn't be mad at it either because there's really no point in coming back. That's what I got there. Let's get right to the keys to game grades. Rams offense, yeah, run the damn ball. They did. I'll actually give them a plus because they didn't look god-awful. I'll just say that. They looked okay. Defensively, the tackling was actually decent, but the thing with them is I have to give them a minus. Not 3 minuses, but I'll give them a minus. They were exhausted as well. They've gotten beaten this season, but because their front seven I actually don't think was that bad. It was really just the secondary. Oh God, they were really, really freaking bad. You know, I'll give them 3 minuses because again the Saints ran the ball. They didn't run the ball, but their passing it was way too good, better than it should have been. But again, secondary was god awful. I gotta be honest there. Let's get to the Saints keys to game grades now. I mean, it was really just Andy Dalton stepping up. I'll give them 3 pluses. That was probably one of their best games of the season. Not 5, 7, or 10, because they did get shut down in the first half of the game as well. But I think they played pretty well. Saints defense now get after Matthew Stafford. They did. He got hurt. Obviously, that didn't help him there. I'll give them an underscore. The reason I'm not giving them a plus is because really they didn't do much. Like, they weren't really that great. I mean, they got pressure like they should have. Like, if they didn't, that would have been a problem. And, yeah, that's all I got there. Like, Matt Stafford got hurt. They shut down the Rams offense, as expected. Now let's get to the national game, the first one that we're going to be recapping. This game, whew. Man, the Lions and Giants both needed to get this one going on Thanksgiving. One of them definitely got that job done.
We can't wait. Jared Goff and the Lions against Daniel Jones and the Giants in the kickoff on Fox. Coming up next. 24-yard field goal is up and good.
Doing with this offense here in New York.
Jones going to run it himself. Gets a block from Barkley. Daniel Jones in for the touchdown. Point. No sure thing today with all this wind. And, oh, look at that ball go.
Kuda out with a head injury.
That's a shame for him. Here's Jones back to pass, and it's intercepted. Aiden Hutchinson has another one. Second of his career. Williams, left side, racing to the end zone, and he's in for the touchdown. Looking for the end zone again, diving forward. He's in for the touchdown.
Ryan, they got 5 guys to the right.
Give it to Williams, looking for his third of the day, and he's got it for the touchdown. Steps into it, throws over the middle, high, and it's intercepted. It's picked off by Kirby Joseph, the rookie, with blocks into Giants territory. Joseph all the way down to the...
Yeah.
First and goal. Matt Breida gets it up the middle. He's in for the touchdown. That would have hits the upright, and that is no good. Going deep down the field for Shark. It should have been picked.
The defense, first down.
And the third turnover by New York. That's clearly out.
Yeah, performance on both sides of the ball so far today.
Second and goal. Swift gets it right up the middle, and he's in for... Jones again over the middle. Caught, touchdown. Richie James is in for the score. Jones on the fake, has Cager. He dropped it.
And yep, the Lions, they blew out the Giants. They spanked them 31-18. Lions 4-6. They've got, yeah, I know they had this record going into the 2020 Thanksgiving game, but they seemed like a lot better this year, especially coming into the game than they were in that game. But obviously, Giants 7-3. I get a little shaky. I would not say they're in the playoffs yet. Honestly, I'd be surprised if they probably have a winning record, maybe 9-8. But best case scenario, I think they go 10-7. That's best case scenario because their second half of their schedule is brutal. Jared Goff, pedestrian, 17 of 26 to 165, but he didn't make any big mistakes. They ran the ball not very efficiently, but I mean 4 on the ground. Like their run game in the red zone was awesome. Amon-Ra 7 for 76, money. Tom Kennedy, 1 big catch, huge catch. He comes up with those. Justin Jackson also had a nice catch as well. Deshaun Allen, 8 tackles. Jared Jacobs had 6 tackles. Defensively, they were money. They had 2 sacks, 2 big interceptions. Obviously, Amani Oriara was locked down. Best game of his season for sure. For the Giants, Daniel Jones was awful. Garbage time yardage, he was just so bad. Like, yeah, I know he had some big completions. Yeah, he was scrambling. Start of the game wasn't bad, but he was not hitting receivers fast enough. His processing speed was not good. Saquon, I mean, they got their mind set on stopping him, and he did not do crap. Tell you this though, he was not hitting the right holes. He was not anticipating well. That's what I got there. He played like dog water. They play like this, they lose by 40 to the Cowboys. The way they're playing right now. Wyatt Robinson 9 for 100. Obviously, he had a really good game. A lot of those were garbage time stats. This is literally all garbage time stats. Richie James also had a touchdown in the garbage time. Defensively, I actually don't think they played super bad, again, because considering how bad their offense played, but, I mean, they got spanked up front in points in this game. They didn't make the stops when they needed to. Maybe not third down the whole game, but, yeah, Giants 439 yards. It was literally just garbage time stats. The Lions spanked them. Like, literally spanked them. They had three turnovers for the Giants, was really bad. But again, no sacks. They were just really good up front if you're a Lions fan. Let's get right to keys game grades for this one. Speaking of these Lions, more decisive run game. Yup, Jared Goff continued red zone excellence. Ruined Leonard Williams. He didn't really have much of a factor. Logan Stenberg didn't play, but Penei Sewell did. Offensively, I'm giving them 3 pluses. You know, I'll give them 5 pluses because they spanked them. Again, when you play that type of football, you can probably beat almost anybody. Lions defense, under 25 points. Yup, under 20 possession. Maybe not that much, but yeah. And double Darius Slayton. They did double Darius Slayton. Defensively, I'll actually give them 5 pluses too. The Lions look so good. Like, I mean, they look really freaking good. Yeah, I mean, some hiccups here and there, but they looked really good. Definitely their best game of the season. Let's get it over to the Giants. Okay, they got to figure out how to fix this up front. Obviously, they get 30 plus points. They didn't get more big plays. And they did try to get up on your way, but he just played really freaking well. For this Giants offense, I got to give him 3 minuses. Yeah, garbage time crap. I don't really care. They couldn't run the ball. That's the reason they lost it. Giants defense, Jahad Ward, and yeah, I think Daniel Jones was slow up in the head in this one. Jahad Ward has to be able to use the chop move. He's gotten good at more than just on long yardage downs. Yeah, I don't think he actually got any opportunities to, and even then, like, defensively, I actually don't think they were super bad. I'll give them actually a minus, but they didn't get it done either. Okay, now let's get to the next game. This game was wild, but the ending was, like, I wouldn't say expected, but it was kind of sad, being honest here.
JB, things were rough in Indy, and then a coaching change for the Colts, and they got the result they were looking for last week in Las Vegas. Today at Lucas Oil Stadium, they meet the Philadelphia Eagles. Shut it down for Indy. Taylor, he's got a hole. The acceleration for Taylor. Christmas last year at Arizona. Handoff. Taylor powers in. Hurts couldn't handle it initially, and Hurts is... And the Eagles are on the board. Yard attempt. Rhodes to snap it. Hawk the holder from 51 yards away. McLaughlin drives in. Through. Air 35 on the ground. First play of the third. Hurts is hit as he tried to throw it. The ball knocked free. Crew to determine that it was incomplete. Setting up a 36-yard attempt for McLaughlin. Big trouble. Breaks out of it. Hurts. Circles. Looking. Pump fake. And he's trying to add to the Colts lead. McLaughlin. It is no. Hurts circling. Hurts has space and speed. Hurts breaks a tackle. Spin move by Hurts. Hurts pulls the trigger. End zone. Touchdown. Swarm around it. Bodies flying towards the football. And the Eagles claim they've got it. Edwards comes out of the pile.
And on Sunday, the Eagles outlasted the Colts 17-16 win. Obviously, the Colts were up by, I think, 13. But yeah, Eagles came back on the back of Jalen Hurts. 17-16 win for them. They're now 9-1. Yes, 9-1. And obviously, right now they're the number 1 team in the NFC. Colts 4-6-1. I mean, it's been a tough season for them as a kind of a Colts loss, but they played well. Jeff Saturday looks like to be a good coach. Jalen Hurts, pretty good passing, 18 for 25, 109 touchdown. He wasn't very decisive, though. He was good, though. Obviously, Jalen Hurts, probably his best game of the season rushing, 16 for 86 and a touchdown. They couldn't really run the ball with anyone else, though. And then Devontae Smith was the leading receiver for 6 for 70. A.J. Brown kind of a bounce-back game, 5 for 60. Quez Watkins also had a touchdown. Defensively, Chauncey Gardner had 10 tackles, good for him. They had 3 sacks, 4 actually. They got pressure on Matt Ryan. They did their job there. Obviously, I wouldn't say they played perfect, but they definitely were able to play well. And now for the Colts, obviously Matt Ryan was pretty pedestrian, 23 of 32, 213. I think he could have pushed the ball downfield a little more than he did, but yeah. John Taylor wasn't very efficient, but he did have a touchdown, 84 yards in 22 carries. Michael Pittman Jr., 6 for 75. He took a lot of shots, got really clamped down. But yeah, he had a pretty productive game. Paris Campbell, 5 for 67 was good. I mean, defensively, Zaire Franklin and Bobby Okereke didn't play particularly well overall, but I think they played fine. Yannick Ngakoue was phenomenal, 1.5 sacks. Ifeadi Odigbo, I really need to start watching this guy more. He had a sack, though. I'll get into his film. Chase McLaughlin had missed a field goal, though. Now look at the yardage. I think both teams, it was pretty even overall. Obviously, the Eagles had more yardage in terms of total yardage, but and they were better up front. But I think the Colts controlled the ball better. They obviously had less turnovers. That was a big part. Of course, three total fumbles for both teams. That's what I got there. Let's get right to the keys to game grades. For this Eagles offense, yeah, you better cut out the stupid dig routes that weren't getting open last week. They did. Shut down Yannick Ngakoue and DeForest Buckner up front. They actually did well against DeForest Buckner, not so well against Yannick Ngakoue. 5 was corner routes per drive. They didn't do a lot of. Well, they ran some corner routes with the tight ends, but I don't think they did enough. I'll give them a plus offensively though, because they found a way to win in the end. It was really just Jalen Hurts though. Eagles defense get off the field on third down. They kind of were able to make Matt Ryan move around. They were able to. They made him. And make sure Jonathan Taylor doesn't pop the bottle. He didn't pop the bottle. Defensively, I will give them a plus as well. The Eagles actually didn't play that bad of a game. I just think, other than the fumbles, obviously, but I do think on defense, they gave 16 points, so that was pretty good. I don't think they played particularly well, but I'll give them a plus because, again, they did get it done. Eagles, they put it together, which is huge because when you can do that in games where you're just not going to score a ton of points, it was huge. Now let's get to the Colts. So for this Colts offense, I just don't think they had some good balance. They just didn't come through when they needed to, and they really stalled out on some drives. I'll give them a minus for that. Colts defense, under 20 points, under 20 possession, 2 most forced mistakes. I'll actually give their defense 3 pluses because they were really containing this Eagles offense. They played super well. The reason, again, I'm giving the Eagles a plus on offense is because they got it done somehow because their Colts defense was really shutting them down for most of it. The Colts offense, obviously, they just couldn't hold, and they just really didn't sustain many drives other than, like, the first quarter. That's what I got there. Let's get to the next game, and this one was kind of wild.
Weeks ago, it was Russell Wilson on the road suffering the loss in the Denver Broncos against Derek Carr and the Las Vegas Raiders.
Thus, another blitz. It's picked up this time, and a float to Kendall Hinton. He breaks the tackle of Webb, and Hinton towards the pylon. He is in for the touchdown. We'll try to do it with Latavius Murray. He'll walk home. Daniel Carlson has had one of the great streaks in NFL history. He's trying to keep it going. For 46 in his home state. Of course, it's wide to the McManus from 48. Gives Denver. Fake to Jacobs. The balance has been good today. Carr looking for Adams. He's got no. They'll run it with Gordon. Pushing ahead. Ball is out.
Blocked and still finding a way to punch it out.
Speaking of blocked, he has been great from 50 plus in his career. His Raiders debut today, the former Falcon and Ram. Wilson lofting it, looking for Sutton, and he trapped it in McManus in a 10-10 game. And McManus just... Carlson, it's going to be down the middle and gone. Blocked by Crosby, 48 yards from McManus for the lead. Splits the upper, launches for Cole, double coverage, incomplete. Inside a minute, getting closer to field goal range. Carr floats it, Jacobs, he's got it! Inside the 10! Nice and easy. Fake to Jacobs. Carr loads up, Adams is open! Walk-off touchdown! A sweep of the Broncos!
And in this huge showdown, the Raiders, a thrilling game, 22-16 win over the Broncos in overtime. Of course, Devontae Adams, walk-off touchdown, hit 7 for 141, 2 touchdowns. He's played very well this season. Obviously, the Raiders go to 3-7. They bounce back after, three straight losses, so good one there. Derek Carr was phenomenal, 23-37. No, maybe not phenomenal, but he was really good. 23-37, 307, 2 touchdowns. Josh Jacobs was good on the ground. I wouldn't say he's very, he didn't look very explosive, but he was good. Josh Jacobs also 3 of 51 on the ground, overall. 160 total yards on 27 touches. That's what you want to see from him. Matt Collins got open, 6 for 52. I mean, no one else did a ton, but I think offensively they played well. Defensively, obviously, they could have been a little better, but I mean, it's the Broncos offense. Tyler Hall had their only sack, but I do think Max Crosby, never mind. Max Crosby had 2 sacks, my bad. I thought he had 1. I was kind of confused there, but I guess he had 2. Max Crosby had 5 tackles as well. Denzel Perryman 5 tackles. Bill Nichols and a couple other guys had more than a couple other guys had 3 tackles. But defensively, they played pretty well. Obviously, Raiders, Broncos, Russell Wilson, 24-31, 247. He just didn't get the ball downfield enough, and even then, their one big play was to Cortland Sutton, and it wasn't even that big of a play. He was 5 for 80. Kendall Hinton had a nice catch and run play. Obviously, they couldn't run the ball for crap because, again, Melvin Gordon sucks. Well, he got cut, too, just so you know. He was the worst starting running back in the league. I absolutely agree with that statement. Latavius Murray's starting back wasn't very efficient. I mean, they just don't really have a running game, and even then, Russell Wilson wasn't particularly great, even though his stats weren't bad. Defensively, Alex Singleton was pretty good. I mean, Demary Mathis, I don't know what else to say. Like, he just wasn't getting enough penetration. Josie Jewell had a sack, though. Overall, defensively, I think they played pretty well. They have been playing well the whole season. Brandon McManus did miss a kick, though. Stat-wise, obviously the Raiders had a lot more yardage, but I think they were, in terms of the running game, it was pretty even because, again, up front, both teams were getting penetration. The Raiders had more possession time. They were overall just flat-out better. And it was really an even game other than that, though. But, again, the Broncos scoring 16 points is inexcusable. Raiders only scored 16 until that walk-off touchdown, but it looks better on the scoreboard. Let's get right to the keys to the game grades. For this, Raiders offense actually run the ball with the intent of finding the D gap. Yeah, they actually did some of that. It was kind of cool. Devontae Adams' vertical routes to clear out the middle of the field for the other receivers. He did that. And Derek Carr has to come through on third down, 10 plus completions, 100 plus yards, 1 plus touchdowns. I don't know what's like full third down stats, but I think he had over 100 yards. He definitely had over 10 completions. He definitely had a touch. I don't know if he had a touchdown, though. He might not have had 10 completions either, but whatever. He definitely had over 100 yards because that was a lot of his big plays. What I gotta say there is, though, offensively, I will give them a plus. They found a way to win it. Obviously, they had some pretty good total yardage. Obviously, going against a really defense. I'm not gonna give them 3 pluses because, again, they only had 16 points until that last drive, and they really heavily relied on Devontae Adams. But up front, they looked pretty decent. I think it was an average game overall until Derek Carr kind of got it done in the overtime. Raiders defense, no big runs. Don't let Russ screw around behind the line of scrimmage. Respect the deep ball. I wouldn't say they actually respected the deep ball because they're daring him to throw it. He didn't throw a lot of it. But defensively, I will give them 3 pluses. That was probably one of their best games I've seen of the season so far. I mean, they played really well overall. Obviously, as a team, team defense, they're really good. Let's get to the Broncos. And for this Broncos offense, I mean, they were pretty bad. I'll actually just give them a minus, though, because they were actually moving the football pretty well. It wasn't like they were struggling to do that, but again, their run game was awful. Broncos defense, under 20 minutes of possession, no. Use Jonathan Cooper on stunts. They did. Chop moves can't be used on third and short. It hasn't worked. They actually did a little bit of that, which was kind of scary, but it worked out okay. And it's okay to give a big play here and there if it means giving under 20 points. I mean, they give the game-winning touchdown, which isn't good, so I'll have to give them a minus. But in that play, I think they were pretty decent. Obviously, they could have been better, and their defense coordinator would definitely say that. But it wasn't a terrible game. I mean, I didn't really watch a ton of it. I watched a lot of the film of the Broncos defense. They look good. I mean, they really fitting the run well, but some plays could have been worse and better than others. Whatever. It was just one of those games. Let's get to the Bengals and Steelers.
For sure Stadium, where a good old-fashioned AFC North rivalry is about to unfold between the Cincinnati Bengals and the Pittsburgh Steelers. From 45. Right, from 42 yards out. That's good. Earl flips it outside to Pirine. Pirine with blockers, 2 in front of him, and then down the sideline to the end zone. Here's Harris. Harris turns the corner. 10, 5, leaping for the end zone. Bengals out here to the near side. Pirine shaking the tackler to the 5 to the end zone. Did he get in? It is a touchdown. 3rd and 9. Pickett got his man open. Touchdown. And intercepted. Levi Wallace looking to run it and now throw it and completes it. Flyer move inside the 20, inside the 15. What a run. Burrow going to go deep. Has a man open. It is caught on 2nd and goal. Burrow throwing, end zone, caught in the end zone. Burrow. Oh, TJ Watt, did he pick that? 30 and now from 34, from 54 yards. Pirine, right side, 5, looking for the pylon. Did he get there? Touchdown. That's as good as going to hand it to Nate Giannacci. Big high hop and grabbed by Tyler Boyd.
And in Pittsburgh, the Steelers, they lost 37-30 over the Bengals. Really, Joe Burrow kind of built them out. He had some bad turnovers, but they're not 6-4. Good for them. They've got a huge game against the Titans on next Sunday. Obviously, the Steelers are 3-7 now. It's not great there. Joe Burrow, 24 of 39, 4 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Bad interceptions, but they couldn't really run the ball either. He was getting pressured a lot too, but he was able to make throws. 4 touchdowns is nice. Obviously, Samaje Perine had 3 receiving touchdowns, 2 on screens, 1 was a nice Roddy Ren. But that'll get you some fantasy points. Let's see how many got. 9.2 plus 18. So that'll get you like 27 points, which is crazy. Yeah. He also had he got 30 points from him. Wow. T. Higgins 9 for 148. I mean, that's a pretty good game if you ask me. He was definitely their best receiver. Tyler Boyd struggled mightily, but he did have one big catch in the fourth quarter. Cam Taylor and I think Jermaine Pratt were definitely the MVPs of this game. Trey Henderson did have 2 sacks though. Yeah, the tackles, you usually don't think it's good, but Cam Taylor played very, very well. And Jermaine Pratt was just solid up the middle. Steelers, Kenny Pickett, best game of his season, 25-42, 269 touchdown. There were like 25 videos about how he played well. You can go watch them all. Najee Harris wasn't very efficient overall on consistency, but he did have 20 for 92 touchdowns. Definitely his best game of the season. George Pickens caught a bomb. Other than that, didn't do a lot. Pat Frymer, who was definitely their go-to guy, 9 for 79. Gunnar Olszewski also had a big catch, 2 for 39. Miles Jack, 5 tackles, same thing with Arthur Mallett. Cam Hayward had a sack. Levo also had an interception. T.J. Watt, have a sack, interception, 2 tackles, 4 assists. If you ask me, T.J. Watt was definitely very, very good this game. I wouldn't say his pressure was very consistent, but it didn't matter when, again, Alex Highsmith was getting pressure. Hayward was getting a ton of pressure as well. Defensively, they played actually pretty well. Yeah, they gave up 37 points, but again, it's because their secondary. It's literally just Minkah Fitzpatrick at this point. Yards was pretty even. Again, it was an offensive game. Rushing wasn't really anything crazy. But again, 2 bad interceptions by the Bengals. They kind of catered to the Steelers' 30 points. But overall, I don't think that was the big problem. I think it was just the fact that the Steelers at some points couldn't move the football at all. But they did have a pretty good game overall. What's your keys to game grades for both these teams? For this Bengals offense, 50-plus combined touches for T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, Hayden Hurst, and obviously Joe Mixon. I think he got like 15 maybe for Joe Mixon. Maybe not even that many. T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd got a total of probably like 15 maybe. But obviously, they didn't get that many, but it was okay. Joe Burrow, quick throws and sprint outs until the DB starts sitting on the routes, and which double moves will come in handy. So basically, their quick throws were actually really good. But again, the pressure was getting to them. But again, Joe Mixon just wasn't a big factor, and that was kind of sad. I'll give them 3 pluses offensively though, because again, 37 points is 37 points. And yeah, they had 2 bad turnovers, but 37 points on another week where they don't give out those 2 turnovers, it's a blowout, and they blow them out. So yeah, that's what I got there. Bengals even stacked the backs on third. They didn't do much of that. I was a little concerned there, but Chidobe Awuzie has to make sure Deontay Johnson doesn't get over him, and Jesse Bates has to jump routes over the middle. Jesse Bates actually played way too conservative in my opinion. Like, he made his tackles, but I'm like, it's kind of like bend don't break defense for the Rams, giving guys a lot of space, which is okay because they didn't give any big plays. But Deontay Johnson didn't do really anything, so Chidobe Awuzie, I think he did his job. So, I'll actually give them a minus, though, because, again, they did get 30 points. A lot of big plays in terms of run after catch, which is a problem. I just said Jesse Bates was really good tackling. He was really the only guy making tackles for him, no offense to guys like Cam Taylor and Jermaine Pratt, because those guys were doing it, too. But that's 3 out of, 12 guys they play. So that's what I got there. Time for the Steelers. And for Pittsburgh, 20-plus points in, or under 20, 20-plus points and runs. They actually did that. Kenny Pickett has to check down and make focus after 2 reads. And the O-line has to penetrate. He made a lot of quick throws. The offensive line just didn't penetrate, though. That was a little bit of a problem. I'll give them a plus offensively, though, because they put up 30 points. They put up a really good fight. They just lasted in because, again, their defense shot really put them down. I'll actually give them 2 minuses because they got those turnovers. But, again, they weren't great overall. It was a little bit of an off week if you ask me. But, again, their defense is still pretty good. 37 points, so you can't give up that and expect to win a lot of games, especially with the offense you have. Now let's get to the game that I was shocked happened. But, yeah, Cowboys-Vikings, roll those highlights.
Last week, and they lost to Ryan Tannehill. Coming off a big game against the Bills, let's see what Kirk Cousins and company has in store for the Cowboys.
Here comes Parsons. Parsons got it from behind, and the ball is out. And the Cowboys recover.
7-yard field goal attempt from Mopper, who's had only 1 attempt the last 3 games. And this one driven through. And they match him. 6 and scores.
Harder in pregame, Jim.
No surprise, never missed from outside 60 in his career, 3 for 3, and this from 53 with plenty of room. We were there week 2. People already ready to say it was over. What a job Rush did. Cowboys complete it to Pollard in a sprint. Pollard. I think Med. Here's a 2nd and 4. On the sideline. Oh, what a catch. That's bothering me all.
I told you he never misses over 60. Because if I said, up you like, I don't know, it's against Zach Martin. Good luck.
Going deep. Pollard has the catch, and no one will touch him again. Touchdown. And 5. Open. Oh, it's Noah Brown. Ball was out. He didn't take it to the ground. Just run. Zeke spins around, stays up top on his feet, and scores. Fantasy team, this from 50. He's got one from 60, from 53, from 50 now.
And in Minnesota on Sunday, the Vikings, obviously probably heard about this by now. And here's my opinion on this game. Everyone else's opinion too. Cowboys actually spanked the Vikings. There's really no other way to put it. I mean, first quarter looked okay, but I think from the first play at the end, that Micah Parsons strip sack really set the tone. Dak was perfect, 22 of 25, 276, 2 touchdowns. They ran the ball for really well. Obviously, Zeke not very efficient, but again, have his carries on the red zone for his excuse. He did have 2 touchdowns, though. Tony Pollard, he had like 189 total yards. That's ridiculous. It was really just a Tony Pollard show on offense. Defensively, it was menacing. They had 4, 5, 6 sacks. They didn't have an interception, but they were getting so much pressure. That's the most dominating game up front I've seen from any defense this year, and I don't even think it's close. They had 2, 4, 7 sacks. Jesus. Brett Maher had 4 field goals. Kirk was awful. Yeah, he didn't have a turnover, but God, he did not get out the ball quick enough. Justin Jefferson got his butt kicked by Trayvon Diggs. That's Trayvon Diggs' best game as a pro by far. They did double him in Justin Jefferson's events, but he just could not get open. I thought Adam Thielen was going to have a big game, but again, he just kind of peeled off after that first quarter. T.J. Hockenson didn't do anything. They actually only ran the ball 11 times, which really surprised me. But again, a couple of those were garbage time carries to be fair. Defensively, Andrew Booth Jr. got his absolute butt kicked on routes, but he did have 9 tackles from Cameron Bynum. I don't know what the heck that was against Tony Pollard, but he should have been covering there. I mean, you didn't expect it, but you still got to do it. Harrison Smith looked slow because he's old. Pat P looked like a veteran, but who was the guy covering him? It might have been Eric Kendricks, but whoever the linebacker was, you got your butt kicked. I think it was actually Eric Kendricks, but that was really bad. Their defense sucked. 40 points is awful. The Cowboys dominated this game in every sense, other than maybe the turnover battle. But again, the Vikings had a fumble, which is pretty bad. But they had the ball for like 2/3 of the game. This game was an absolute butt slapping. There's no other way to put it. The Vikings are going way down the power rankings. Maybe not that far down because it was one game, but still, they got their butt slapped. Okay, for this Cowboys offense, I'll give them 5 pluses. Because here's the thing, I don't think they actually. The receivers weren't playing that well, to be honest. It was the fact that it was again the Tony Pollard show. But I actually don't think they were super, super crazy great. Oh my God, it's one of the best games I've ever seen from their offense. But they were still really freaking good. Cowboys defense, I'll actually, maybe not 10, but I'll give them 8. They were so dominant up front. It was ridiculous. The only thing I'll say is they didn't force 3 turnovers or anything crazy like that. They didn't get a pick 6 or anything. It wasn't a shutout. That's the reason I'm not giving 10. But that's the most dominating game I've seen up front in a while. Let's get to the Vikings. And for these Minnesota Kings, that are definitely Kings, KJ Osborne, 10 targets / touches. They didn't get him the ball enough, in my opinion. Oh my God, Captain Kirk had so many ducks. He was so bad. Offensively, 5 minuses. In their defense, they had no chance of stopping the Cowboys pass rush after the first quarter, because again they were down by 7 points. But I'll actually give them 7. They weren't able to move the football either. That was a big problem. Vikings defense, let's see how good you really are. Yeah, you're not good. I'll give them 5 again too, because again, it was really just the Cowboys defense because I don't think the Cowboys offense, they were really freaking good. But the Vikings defense wasn't so, they were actually god-awful, but they weren't as bad as their offense was. So that's good for them there. Now let's get to the Sunday Night Football game, and this game really lived up to any hype it had.
The sun setting on the Sunday before Thanksgiving in Southern California, a dozen miles from downtown LA. Magnificent SoFi Stadium.
From 33. Butker opens the scoring. Is that the whole cast together? But a few of the stars are back. Herbert going deep. Downfield for Joshua Palmer. Got it! Touchdown! Well, that's the longest field goal in the league this year at 62. That's a confidence builder for step away from Keenan Allen. 46, Cameron Dicker. 2 teams. Home to Kelsey. Beat his man across midfield and on the run. Kelsey, big game. Mahomes firing right side, tight coverage, but he got it in there to the tight end Fortune. Ball comes out as Fortune comes down. There's Kelsey with some blockers to the outside, bounced it to the outside, and strolls into the end zone. It is Eckler following the fullback into the end zone. Couldn't get free. Play wound down. So the Dicker field goal from 21, make it 3.
4 in the pack. Underneath Kelsey. He's got it on the run. Kelsey first down. And more. Kelsey touchdown. Get it out to Allen. Got some blockers ahead. Keenan Allen. Straight forward to the 31. Lost the screen to McKinnon. Tries to get through the traffic. He lost the football. Tranquil couldn't get it. But 3rd and 18. Looking downfield. Sideline shot here. Is caught by Allen. He worked inside of Williams. Herbert looking, throwing, end zone, touchdown, Homer! The 33, Mahomes, taking off out of space to run. Mahomes, inside the 20, slides out. Kelsey alone on the right, coming across to the left, on the run, Kelsey, touchdown!
Up over Keenan Allen.
20, Herbert, escaping, in trouble, puts it up for grabs for Allen, it's almost intercepted, and is on the deflection.
And on Saturday Night Football, again, Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs are too good. 30-27 win over the Chargers. Chargers, I think they were just overmatched in this one, but they played a really freaking good game. Chiefs are now 8-2. They got the Rams next week. That'll be an easy dub. They should be 9-2 going into Week 13 against the Bengals. That game, of course, in front of the whole country for a second straight week. But either way, Chiefs, Mahomes wasn't actually perfect. I think he had some really bad throws. A lot of them were in the dirt, but he got it, well, not in the dirt, in the turf. But in the end, 20-34, 329, 3 touchdowns. They ran the ball super efficiently. I mean, Jerick McKinnon, yeah, maybe not the most efficient, but Isaac Pacheco had 15 for 107. That's a great game for him. As well, Travis Kelce had 3 touchdowns on 6 catches for 115 yards. Justin Watson was also good. It was a lot of big plays by these guys, a lot of big connections. Good job offensively. Defensively, Nick Bolton, I do think, got a little toasted in terms of pass coverage, but other than that, he was menacing. 10 tackles, 4 assists on an interception. Willie Gay, Chris Jones combined for 3 sacks. Mike Dan also 2 sacks, which I'm shocked by, but he did. He got him somehow, but he did. Okay, defensively, they gave a lot of big plays for secondary. They get a little bit burnt, but other than that, they're pretty good. Chargers, okay. Justin Herbert, 22, 32, 82 touchdowns, interception. He was really good. Interception in the last drive of the game. He got pressured. Their offensive line was pure dog crap in this one. Austin Eckler, surprised he was so efficient. 19 of 83 in a touchdown. What I mean by efficient is, he had a lot of runs where he got like 0 yards, but he still had some good runs there. Or my bad. A lot of his runs were for decent gains. None of them were big, though, because, again, he didn't get much holes. I don't think he was going to break one anyway. Josh Palmer had 2 touchdowns. He's probably emerging as their maybe #1 receiver. I don't know for sure. Mike Williams got shut down, but he was on the Jarrett Sneed, to be fair. Keenan Allen, 594, big day for him. Defensively, Drew Tranquil was pretty good. Dylan James had an interception, was god-awful in coverage. They had way too much yak yardage. Derek Tuzeko was a big part of that, but he did get the pressure in his defense. Total yards, I think the Chiefs were obviously pretty good. It was actually a little more balanced, probably like maybe 60-40, but pretty good there. Turns of the ball longer, though, but 2 turnovers to 1 turnover, 5 sacks to 1 sack. That was really the difference in this one. It was obviously a really good game, though. Let's get right to keys to game grades for both teams as we get towards the outro. And for this Kansas City offense, team approaches last meeting, but bubble screens with Kadarius Toney. I don't even think he got a touch, which I was a little surprised by, but offensively, I will still give them a plus. Again, 30 points, 30 points. I just don't think they didn't really do much. It wasn't like a great game by them. But again, run after catch, good there. Chiefs defense, under 3 points in the 4th. I don't think their defense played very well. I should give them an underscore. I think they really struggled with, again, yak yardage. Both defenses struggled with tackling. But again, I do think they were just a little, they did enough to win somewhat, but they weren't great. Again, Chiefs offense came through in the end. I should give them 2 pluses now that I think about it. Now let's get over the Cardinals. And my bad, not the Cardinals, the Chargers. More play action, 40-plus yard air yard attempts. Yeah, they had 2 of those. That's good for me. 5 yards per catch. Yup, Sony Michel has to get some 13 personnel snaps. They got to be a little more physical there. But offensively, I will actually give them a plus. Should I give them 3 pluses? No, but again, because I don't think, again, they had that bad interception last drive. Their offensive line was pure dog crap. But other than that, I do think the Chargers offense was pretty good. Chargers defense, under 27 points, you got a chance. They didn't get that, but again, it was just because they didn't come through in the end. I'll give them a minus. If they make that stop, the game's probably, they win that game. But overall, I actually think they played pretty well containing most of those Chiefs guys. That's what I got there. Let's get right to the outro. That'll just do it for this week 11 NFL Sunday recap. Obviously, Thanksgiving's coming up. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Like and subscribe. Hope you guys enjoy. And yeah, see you in the next one.
Rattler rolls, scans, now cuts back, makes another cut, flips a touchdown, back.